Chosen Vessels, what's the deal? Shout out to the Galactic family. I need everyone to hit that like button, share button, and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get into it. All TV does is show you how to use your mind. But you didn't know that until now. Let's talk about it. TV shows you how your mind works. That's all it does. TV shows you how your mind works because when people don't want things, they immediately get them. And when people don't want something to happen, that's what will happen. People, they show a lot of law of attraction on TV. And I don't know if you remember the Hey Arnold episode. Helga thought she had the monkeypox. She got the little symptoms or whatever, and she tricked herself with her mind into thinking she was sick. Now think about that. If you could trick yourself into believing that you're sick, right? Stomach will start hurting, palms will start sweating. You start thinking you got this, whatever it is that you have, because it's like a placebo effect. You're programming your mind to think you have a condition, and you believe that you have the condition, so you start to take on the feelings of the condition, especially if you've looked it up, if you've researched it, if you've made yourself paranoid to make yourself believe you have these things. Now you're going to start to take on the symptoms. You're going to start to worry yourself, trouble yourself. You're going to start to manifest certain symptoms, similar symptoms. So you may not have it, but you'll feel like you do. You can do that with anything, especially with being rich. Because what happens? People will actually throw up. Not trying to be graphic, people will actually throw up. People will actually end up having to go to the hospital sometimes because of what they do to themselves with their own mind. But TV only shows you how to do it the opposite way that you're supposed to use it. See, TV shows you how to use it the wrong way. TV shows you, it programs you how to use it how I just explained. How Helga used it in the negative way. And there's been other shows like this where people they either show a placebo effect where the person takes the medicine and then they'll just have a show like that, or they'll show somebody who thinks they have something and they don't. I've seen episodes of Seinfeld where the little short bald head dude with the glasses thought he had something, some type of cold, some type of sickness or some type of disease where he was freaking out and he thought he was going to die. They always have stuff like that on TV where somebody thinks they're going to die and then they were thinking it the whole time. They programmed you for you to do the same thing. What they forgot to tell you is that you could positively use that same technique for success, for wealth, for money, to manifest people in your life, opportunities. If you feel like the person who deserves the opportunity, if you can if you could program your mind into believing that you are the person who deserves what it is you want. Just like they programmed themselves into programmed themselves to thinking they were sick because they got full of the feeling of sickness. This is how people stay stuck with a disease, and this is why people say that prayer doesn't work, and this is why people say that their disease can never be healed, and why they'll never be fixed is because they're so caught up and so full of the feeling of having it that it keeps creating it. It keeps them with it, because in order to be healed, you have to believe that you can be healed. When Jesus was healing people and talking to people, the ones that knew and thought and the ones that knew they could be healed got healed. Like that guy who had to pick up his bed and walk, he didn't know. All he had to do was know that he could get up, get going, and that's all that Jesus was telling him. Jesus was trying to awaken the power within that man. So TV has you awakening the wrong power. That's why it's the tell lie vision. It tells lies to your vision. TV has people using their mind the incorrect way because that's what it teaches most of the time. It's how to use your mind in the incorrect way. When you don't want something, they show the person focused on it. When Helga, back to Helga did not want that guy. She reacted to him instead of responding to him. I hate you. She'd always punch him in the face. He kept popping up in her reality because she was so focused on what she didn't want. And your life is the same thing. Go back and pay attention to these TV shows and like study you some law of attraction, and then go back and watch these TV shows, and you'll see how you've been programmed the wrong way. They have people attracting what they don't want because they have them thinking along the lines of attracting what they don't want instead of focusing on what they do want. People will not want to see somebody. When you don't want to see somebody, that don't want is just as strong as wanting to see them. You're basically telling the universe to see them, whether you want to or don't. So if you don't want to see them, focus on seeing other people. Focus on something different. When that thought pops in your mind, bless that person and release them with love. Don't have resentment for them. Don't have anger towards them, hatred, not want to see them. That's going to draw them to you. But you can have the same effect positively with what you want. All you have to do is get full of a feeling for it. So when people think they have something on those TV shows, all they did was get full of the feeling of thinking that they had something. They tricked themselves into thinking that they were sick. But you could use the same process to make yourself think that you're whatever you want to be, rich, successful. Think about it. It's the same process, just with a different technique and a different way of using it. It's the right way of using it. It's just they teach you the wrong way. They teach you to get full of negative feelings. So you manifest things like sickness, poverty. All right, they'll have the person, oh, I don't want this negative thing to happen, and they won't have any solution or way out for the person. They just have the person talking about the negative thing that they don't want to happen, and it ends up happening. They end up getting in trouble. They end up losing their job. Something bad ends up happening to them. Like it's a lot of shows that I could think about and look back on, and they program you with a lot of anxiety. Like you laugh at them and it's funny, but like low key, a lot of those shows program you with a lot of fear, a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety, and they create negative images in your mind and make you think that bad things are going to happen. If you think that something bad is going to happen, it will. That's why I don't watch TV. I don't knock anybody that does. It's just me personally. We don't watch TVs in this house. You know what I'm saying? I heard somebody say that, so I'm just saying that. We don't watch TVs in this house. You know, that's the phrase that pays. You don't watch TV. You know, shout out to everybody that does. It's some shows, you know, that you like. It's some shows that everybody wants to watch, but I probably won't watch them on TV because I don't want to see the commercials. I don't want the programs. I don't want to get hit with I don't want to get hit with the frequencies and the waves that they're pushing out. I don't want to get hit with that 2023 TV energy. You feel me? I'm good. So they show you how the mind works. Like I said, all you have to do is just know how to use it. So now you have heard a little bit on how to use your mind. What are you going to start doing with it? You have to start getting full of the feeling of what you want, because whether you want something, that's when you're focused on what you want, that's why you get what you want. When you're focused on what you don't want, that's why you get what you don't want still. Like, I didn't want that. Why did I still get that? Because you're focused on it. You're giving it too much power. You're giving it too much energy. And with the amount of, even the little bit amount of energy you're giving it, it's a gateway, a portal for those things, for that thing that you don't want to come through. So it's like with the law of replacement. If you're focused on fear, be focused on courage and focus on courageousness, because that way you'll have uh, courage come into your life and not fear. All right, if you want wealth, focus on wealth and don't be afraid of going broke. Don't fear poverty, because you could not want to be poor and end up poor because you don't want to be poor so bad. I know, like, that's crazy to think like that, but I know it's like wow, I didn't know that. I didn't either, y'all. So like whatever you don't want, you'll always end up getting it. So instead of focusing on what you don't want, replace it with the things that you do want. That's why the Bible says focus on things that are righteous, holy, pure, good. Focus on the things that are good, the things that you want to see in your reality. So those are the things that will be, okay? What will be will be. It doesn't have to be like that. All right. What will be is what uh, you will it to be. All right. If like people say like, oh, God's will is your will. Like don't use God. Don't scapegoat God. It's your will. All right. What are you willing into existence? What are you willing into existence? What are you willing to speak? What are you willing to feel? What are you willing to think about yourself? What are you willing to say about yourself? What are you willing to feel about your reality, yourself, how you view your life? People use the whole people put a bad thing on the will thing, because they like when people associate your will with negativity. You just have to have some goodwill. All right, that's a word, right? Goodwill, and it's not doesn't have to be associated with poverty. All right, you have to have a goodwill in the sense of your will has to be good. Okay, it's your will to do better. It's your will to be successful. It's your will to be rich. God wants you to be all of those things. He wants you to will those things into existence. All right, if you love the Lord, you're supposed to be prosperous. If you love the Lord, you're supposed to be successful. All right, so TV taught people how to use their mind the wrong way. That's why a lot of people's lives are messed up, because they done taken a lot of programs from the television. For real, a lot of people have their perceptions shaped by TV. A lot of people had fear put in them by TV. That's why me personally, I choose to regulate the type of content that I watch, because I already know, and from studying what I'm studying, I already know what I've learned about the TV and how it affects you, and realizing how it affected me and all the things that I had to change and work on and reprogram. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I could do without it. All right. Too much fear. All right. Instead of focusing on fear, focus on protection from God. Instead of focusing on worrying about not having, focus on abundance. Instead of focusing on sickness, focus on health. Instead of focusing on the problems, focus on finding solutions. But they don't really, TV and news and all those things are not really solution based. They pump a lot of fear because that's what people want. People want to stay afraid. If they give you a solution, people not going to stay afraid. They got to give the people what they want. And instead of helping the people, they give the people what they want. Instead of helping them, they just keep them jacked up and jack them up even more. And they don't mind, because it keeps that energy, keeps that frequency, what they're pumping, it keeps that energy pouring out into the world. Fear, desperation, lack, things that frequency thrives off of, people vibrating on. It needs that to stay alive. They need people to keep tuning in to that frequency, to keep that frequency strong. They have to keep feeding the people who are feeding them. They got to keep that toxic loop, that toxic cycle going continuously. So stop feeding into it. Don't allow TV to control your mind. Don't allow TV to put fear in you. Don't allow TV to make you think you're poor, or make you think that you can't be successful, or to make you think the only people that could be successful are the ones on TV. Don't trust everything you hear on the television. Trust your intuition. Trust God. Allow God to guide you, not TV. I want to thank everybody for watching this video. Shout out to the vessels. All right. Shout out to the whole entire galactic family. We winning. All right. We headed to the top. We not on the bottom with rocks. Shout out to every chosen vessel. Everybody hit that like button on the way out. Hit that share button. Shout out to the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. All right. I'll see everybody in the next video. This has been another DrewTube special. Shout out to the chosen vessels. We out.